Yeah. Hi everybody, it's Sharon Goff. I'm just going to give you a quick update of who I am. James and I joined the church about 18 years ago, which is a long time ago, but we were actually based in Tarleton at the Tarleton Fellowship. So James and I have been married 36 years, and James has been my guinea pig and all my foods because I have never actually been trained to cook. This is just me learning as I go along. So before we were married, he was my guinea pig and he still is my guinea pig, and he doesn't mind because this is me cooking. So tonight, I've cleaned all my worktops, my hands are washed, my pin is on, hygiene is okay, so we're all right for that. Just going to show you a little bit how to make a chicken curry. You can do this without the chicken. So if you just want a vegetable chicken curry, you just don't put the chicken in, or you just don't put the chicken stock in. So you put a vegetable stock instead. All right. So preparation. I've done a bit of celery, carrots. I'm just going to carry on doing the celery. Celery is really good for you. So please don't say, I don't like celery. It keeps, gives you potassium, keeps your blood nice and healthy. So celery is good for you. If you don't really like it, chop it very small. All right. So also we've got onions in.
Just so you know as well, sorry, I'm in the background.
Oh yeah, Harry's in the background.
I'll be plying Sharon with questions. You'll be very grateful though that there is not a camera on me. It's just on everything that Sharon's doing. So yeah. Sorry, Sharon.
It's okay. Don't ask me why, but I don't cry when I slice or chop onions. I don't know why it happens. Even when we used to cook for church, we used to do 2 sacks of onions and I never cried. So I don't know what it is, but I just don't cry. So that is the carrot celery. Oh, I've got some more carrot to do actually, so just bear with me. So very nifty peeler. I'm left-handed, so I struggle with a normal peeler, but this is an absolute great tool. I just love it. I can do it so easily. The only thing is you're not supposed to slice towards you, peel towards you, but I'm afraid I do. So you want to chop your carrots and your celery. Carrots, I do like to do it quite chunky. So if I just give you an idea, that piece of carrot to my thumb, all right? That's just like the rough size I want you to do it. So please don't compare me to James Martin because I know he chops everything so perfect on television, but mine is just chunky and nice and easy to do.
Are you quite a big fan of curry, Sharon?
Yeah, we like curry. I don't like it hot. I'm not a spicy, very hot person. Just go to the spices I'm using tonight. This is an easy curry. It's not where I've gone to buy all the spices from the shop and I grind them in my pestle and mortar. This is a packet. This to me is convenience food, one of these curry powders. But it's not really a powder. It's more of as if it's been done by pestle and mortar. So it's like granules of spices. So this is the Swartz one. And I like this. I've tried other ones, but this is the one that we like. The chicken tikka, if you're making that, it's just 2 peppers on the symbols on the side. I don't know if you can see that. But if you get the Madras one, that's 3 peppers, so that's hotter. So I don't like it hot, so this is the one we have. All right. So I'm just going to go over to the hob, and we're going to start cooking over at the hob, okay? Now then, olive oil. I just buy whatever's the cheapest. I don't buy extra virgin oil because I want extra virgin oil. It's just whatever the cheapest is. Just need... Sorry, I forgot to bring my spatula with me, but wooden spoon's okay. I don't know whether anybody has ever heard that, oh, you shouldn't use wooden things in the kitchen. It should all be plastic. Well, they did a scientific test after they announced that you weren't allowed to use plastic in the wooden in the kitchen. And they found that there was no more germs on the wooden utensils than the plastic ones. And I don't like going to use a plastic spatula if it's already been melted, and that's what can happen if you're not careful when you're cooking. So the wooden ones are great. So what I'm going to do now is what I call sweating the vegetables. And I don't know why I call it that. It's just the way I sweat my vegetables, and they just seem to have a nicer taste. I'm making a mess. Right. Just going to turn this down a bit. So you don't want it too hot. You don't want to cook your vegetables either, in that you don't want them to go brown on the edges. You just want to soften them. So if you make the edges of your vegetables brown, it gives like the curry a bit of a burnt taste to it. So you just want to soften your vegetables very nicely. All right, and keeping them moving all the time. So, and the other thing that I need to mention to you is this pan that I've got is a heavy based pan. The pans that you see sometimes in the shop, you think, oh, that's cheap, but it affects the way you cook. So if you can get a heavy based pan in stainless steel, they're the best ones to use. Or if they're not stainless steel, cast iron enamel. The ones that I absolutely love are Le Creuson pans, but they're very, very expensive. And I found if you go to Boundary Mill that you can get Denby pans, which is a copy of Le Creuson. That's half the price. And especially if you go at Christmas, they do have things reduced quite a bit. So that's when I tend to do my shopping for things for the kitchen. And I get them so cheap. It's just very, very excellent.
How does
value
it
for
affect
money.
your pan, Sharon?
How does it affect what?
Sorry, getting a heavier pan, how is that so much better than the cheaper ones?
It affects, it's the heat transferring into the food that you're cooking. So if you have a heavy base metal pan, it's better. If you have a flimsy tin pan, the tin doesn't hold its heat, and it's just the base of the pan that you want to be using more than anything. You don't want to be using the sides, you want to be using the pan underneath. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, you did a great job there, Sharon. I think I need to go get some more pans.
Right, I'm just going to take that off for a minute because I don't want it to burn, and I'm going to come back to the worktop. Okay.
So how do you know when it's done?
Well, that now, if I just show you it, it's just got a nice glisten to it. So it's got like the olive oil on it, and it's I just know that it's done. About 5 minutes I've been doing that, haven't I, while I've been talking. And I've got the jet up quite high, but not full up. So it's just, and the onion has gone like clear. If you see, if I get you two pieces that not quite gone. So, no, I think it's all gone.
So the veg is still quite hard.
The vegetables are hard. You're not cooking them. You're just softening them up. Your onion has gone clear more on that.
Okay.
Oh. Right, so I'm going to do a chicken curry. So I'm just going to get my chicken ready. So I put on the information that it's 3 chicken breasts, and I'm cooking for James and I, but I'm cooking for 4. So what I tend to do is I cook for 4. James and I will have our tea, and then the rest of it, the other half, goes in a foil tray, and we have that. We put it in the freezer, and then it's a quick and easy meal for when we come in from work. So before I go to work at 7:30 in the morning, I'll lift out a tray of curry, And when James comes in at 6:45, tea's on the table because I come in at 6. The chicken curry is defrosted. All I've had to do is cook the rice, warm the pompadons through, or naan breads, depending on what we fancy, and we have a full meal ready for us, which is nice. And it's a quick meal as well, because how long does it take to cook rice? About quarter of an hour. Well, if I'm not coming in till 6 o'clock, James is coming in at 6:45. I've only got half an hour to get tea on the table, haven't I? So
Like
that's the way.
clockwork. Sure.
Yeah.
Like
So it works like. I mean, don't get me wrong. It doesn't work like that all the time, but if we want a quick meal and a tasty meal, and we want it within half an hour of coming in, then this is an ideal meal. So I'm just cutting the chicken to pieces that are still quite chunky. If I can show you that, it's about an inch thick and it's about 2 inches wide.
That's
the reason for
2
this,
centimeters and 4 centimeters.
all right then. I do half and half. I do a lot in metric, but I'm still on imperial on sizes. All right. The reason why I don't want you to cut it too small, because you're going to simmer your curry for half an hour, 40 minutes. So if you simmer chicken for too long, it all breaks up into little pieces, and you don't want that. You don't want little pieces. You want a chunk of chicken in your curry, don't you? You want something tasty. So nearly finished.
Could you use corn pieces or something like that if you're a
You
vegetarian?
could do, yeah. You could use. I've never used it, corn. I've bought the ready meals if I know somebody's coming for a vegetarian, but because I'm not very confident in cooking a vegetarian meal, really. But in some ways I am. I can do bits and pieces, but if I wanted to do a chicken dish for a vegetarian, I would just do them a vegetable curry at the side. I wouldn't bother replacing. Yeah, why do you replace meat with something else? Do you see what I mean?
High
So I would
protein
just,
content, isn't it?
So that's the way I would do it. So,
Excellent.
so just going to rinse my hands. Won't be a sec. Oh.
Do you
Right.
tend to cook in bulk a lot and then freeze throughout the week? Is that kind of your normal?
Not really. No, I just cook for 4, and then there's a meal for 2, and there's a meal for 2.
So you get two meals out.
Yeah, I don't do big batch cooking because my freezer's not big enough. But also, you get fed up with the same things, don't you? So what was going to do? Oh yeah. So the spices, right? This spice, I'm going to put the pan back on. On the instructions on the back, I have tried making the recipe of the curry on the back, and it's okay, but I just like the way I make it. So I just use the ingredients for the spices. So it says 2 tablespoons of tikka curry spice blend. So that's what I'm going to put in. So I'm going to put it onto the vegetables. Yeah, just need a piece of paper. So I just wrote this down. So a tablespoon, if you want to do it in grams, if you haven't got a tablespoon, that is quite a big tablespoon. It's 14.3 grams a tablespoon. So it's not 2 dessert spoons, which are the smaller spoons. It's 14.3 grams a tablespoon.
How many dessert spoons would it be?
How many what, sorry?
Dessert spoons.
Well, it doesn't work like that. For dessert spoons, it's 1.5 dessert spoons for 1 tablespoon.
Oh, okay.
So it's not 2 dessert spoons.
Okay.
It's 1.5 dessert spoons for a tablespoon. So what I'm doing here now is I'm just mixing the vegetables with the curry spices, and then I'm going to chuck in the chicken. So this is not even marinating the chicken for 12 hours or anything. This is just a really quick tea. And if you try not to let it burn, which it's just catching on the bottom of the pan a little bit, the spices, you need to keep turning this now while you've got the chicken in, so that you actually seal your chicken. I'm just going to take it off for a minute because it's getting a bit too hot.
Would it be if I did marinate it?
I think it might. The thing is, if I do a chicken, say if I want to do a curry and I want to marinate the chicken in 24 hours, I will go and buy all the spices, and I will make a curry from scratch with all like cumin in and what's the other spices? I can't think, coriander in, and I will marinate my chicken for 24 hours. But this is really just such a quick tea. I also use salt and pepper when I'm cooking. Some people don't like using salt and pepper when they're cooking, but I do, because then it means that you don't have salt and pepper on your table. And then the reason why I don't like that is because you use less. If you cook your food in salt and pepper, then if you get your plate on the table and you want salt and pepper on it, you end up putting nearly twice as much on to give it some flavour. Salt and pepper is like a spice in that it gives flavour to the food as you're cooking. So
I didn't know that. So as you heat it, you get more flavour.
It gives more flavour when you're cooking rather than putting it on afterwards.
I did not know that. What's this you're sticking on now?
Right, so this is your tin of tomatoes. I've got Neapolitan tomatoes. I don't always buy these, but I buy whatever's on offer. So if they've got 2 packs, then I'll buy them for the price of 1. I don't buy the very cheap ones because they seem to be all filled with water. And these are chopped ones, whereas if you buy the whole tomato ones, you tend to lose your tomato in it, and it just like goes to mush. Whereas these are quite nice. So I'm just going to pop these in the pan. Don't throw your tin away just yet, because there's something else that you need to do with your tin.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah. So if I just put the tomatoes back in and then toss that in, that'll keep it quite moist for now.
So if they've bought a cheaper tin of tomatoes.
Yeah, you might have to put tomato puree in just to give it a more.
Or would you just cook it off a bit to get rid of some of the water? Or?
No, I'd put tomato puree in to get a more tomatoey taste. Right, so after years and years of cooking and using different stock cubes, these are the ones I like at the moment. They're expensive, but these are what I like. So if you're going to do a vegetable curry, you wouldn't put the chicken in, and you wouldn't put a chicken stock cube in. You just put a vegetable stock cube in. All right, but I'm going to do a chicken curry. So I'm going to pop this in. But at the same time, when I said don't throw your tin away just yet, if you fill your tin of tomato, can you see how much, I don't know if you can see in there, how much tomato is left? I'm going to fill the tin about 2/3 full with boiling water. All right, kettle. Right, so tin 2/3 full of water. It's used all the tomato bits and pieces out of the bottom of your tin. It then dissolves your stock cube into your curry. And I think that's it for now. That is your base for your chicken curry. So that now is going to simmer for a good half hour. Okay. Just turn the jet up a bit to
What
get it
kind of
simmering.
heat do you want on it?
So just very, very low, a simmer light. So the lowest you can get it really. You can put a lid on it, which I'm going to do now because it will just quicken it up a bit to make it cook faster because you're retaining your heat in your pan. Right, so we'll just leave that to simmer. And we'll just do a little bit of prep. So I've got an orange, yellow, and red pepper. So I find that half of each for this cooking for 4 is plenty. But if you like peppers and you want to put more in, then you can put more in. It doesn't really matter. But this is what James and I like. So just put those to the side.
So does this make the curry a bit sweeter? Putting the peppers in, or?
Yeah, it does. It gives a bit of colour, which is nice. Just gives it added flavour. I don't put green peppers in a curry because a green pepper has its own distinct taste, and I think if you put green pepper in, to me it doesn't taste right in the curry. But if you like green pepper, then you can put green pepper in your curry. It doesn't really matter. So you have plenty of time to do the prep for this because you've got 20 minutes while it's simmering, half an hour.
Do you tend to be quite an efficient cook, Sharon?
I'm an untidy cook. When I'm cooking and if I'm doing something like if people are coming, I have pans everywhere. And James comes in and he goes, right, do I need to tidy up? And I go, yes, please. And he's very good. He tidies up after me.
That's good. Is that a pretty sweet deal? You cook and he does all the washing up and stuff.
Yeah, I'm afraid he does. We do have a dishwasher though, so
okay.
We put things into the dishwasher as much as we can.
So he's got the easy end of the deal.
Sorry, I missed
he's
that.
got the easy end of the deal.
Yeah, I think so. But he's very good. If I get a bit stressed about if we've got people coming and I want it just to be just right, he'll just say, well, just do this. And I go, no, that's not right. I don't want to do it like that. And then I think, no, he is right after all.
So how big are you cutting the peppers?
I'm just doing them that size. So can you see that size? It's about an inch.
How many centimeters?
An inch and a half long. I'll find it really difficult to transfer to metric, but the thing is, I do metric all the time at work. Yeah, I work in metric. I work for Seeker and I work on the roofing side. So
Seeker?
Seeker, yeah, it's an international company. We manufacture waterproof coatings for flat roofs. And it's not, it's a liquid coating that we manufacture, but also manufacture hygiene coatings for operating theatres. We do manufacture coatings for walkways, for balconies, that sort of thing. And until recently, I was still going on the roof and surveying roofs and thinking, what do we do on this problem? Because obviously on a roof, you've got outlets where the rainwater goes down into a pipe. You have parapet walls. So I was climbing up on roofs, so it's like 9 meters high, 9 meters high, because I'm back into work mode now. Never used to bother me at all until I went on to Royal Preston Hospital roof, and they had it was a flat roof, and it had a mineral felt on it, and we were going to coat over it with liquids, and they had an upper roof on the top where it was about that high, so it's about 1.5 meters, and I could not climb on it, and I had to ask one of the contractors to give me a leg up, and I was very embarrassed. So I went back to the office and I said, I'm sorry, but I don't want to climb on roofs anymore. So I don't really go on roofs anymore. So just getting a little bit old for that now. So I'm still working for Seeker, just not climbing on the roofs. I'm still writing specification documents for all the coatings, etc., for roofs. And the contractors just, or some of the sales guys, they send me the photographs instead now. So that's the way I do it.
Are they going to be paying you for all this advertising?
Oh, I don't know. I hope they don't know that I'm doing this. I'd be mortified if they found out I was cooking on this. I must admit, though, I have done stuff for them. I've done corporate cakes. So I've made corporate cakes. When one of our products called Decathane, when it was 30 years old, we had a big celebration in the company, and I made a big cake with the logo of the Decathane on the cake and everything. And we had a celebration in the company for it because it's a fantastic product, and they just want to celebrate, the material. So.
You're quite a baker, though, aren't you? You like doing
I do, yeah. I do like baking. Yeah.
I remember you sharing or bringing one in where, show me a picture, was it? Of one with it was a high-heeled shoe. Is that right?
Oh, yes, high-heel shoe. That might have been the one that had Decathane pouring out of for one of the girls at work because she spilt Decathane all down her legs. And because it's a cold cure product, it sets. And you can't get it off. She had to wait for all this Decathane grey liquid coating to wear off her legs. So
apples now?
Yes, so I put apples in my curry. It's just a nice sweetness. The only thing is I've just realised that I'm peeling the apple and I'm not going to put it in yet, and it will go brown if I'm not careful. So
is that a bad thing if it goes brown?
It is, because it doesn't look particularly nice in your curry. So
but it doesn't affect the taste.
It doesn't really affect it. No, it doesn't affect the taste. But saying that, your curry is going to be simmering quite nicely, and your apple will soften very quickly into your curry. So, but I'll show you what I'm going to do. So we've got the peppers, we've got the apple. This apple's quite small, actually, so I will probably put 2 in because there's not really a lot to taste. It's nice to get a bit of a piece of apple in your curry. Oh. So they're about, I'm just trying to think what size they are, about 1.5 inches square. But I'll do another apple. That's not enough apple to go in, really. And then, of course, on the ingredients as well, I had raisins to go in. So this is my tub of raisins from home. We like raisins. So they go into the curry as well. So it's quite a sweet curry. But you don't have to put them in the curry. You can just, you can make your curry and then you can sprinkle them on afterwards on the top, or you can have them in a side dish. The other things that you can have on a side dish is very thin slices of red onion, mango chutney. You've got to have mango chutney with curry, haven't you? Yeah, so a dish of mango chutney with your pompadons or your naan breads. So what else did I think of? Sour cream. You can sometimes pour sour cream on your curry if that's what you want. So, but that's it. So that's me for now. I'm just going to check this in the pan. Wow. So that is really cooking nicely. Can you see that it's bubbling nicely? Now I'm going to take the lid off now because those vegetables are really quite soft. When you take the lid off, your liquid is going to reduce, whereas if you've got your lid on, that encourages the liquid to stay. And if you look at the top of my lid, the inside of my lid, it's got a lot of water. Well, that water was going back into the curry, which was nice. Don't want that to happen now. So we just want it to just simmer nicely and sort of like reduce down quite a bit. All right. So
how much reduction are you looking for?
I'm going to reduce it quite considerably in that it's quite watery still at the moment, but I don't know whether everybody noticed, but I didn't put any thickener in. I don't like using corn flour. I don't particularly like using flour unless I have to, because I like it to reduce naturally. The other thing is, a lot of people suffer with gluten. So the less you can use those items in your cooking, the better, really. So that will soon reduce down. It won't take long. So I might just do it all. It's nearly ready, actually, so I might just put an apple in. Do the other apple.
So now it's just get this stuff, and then will you whack all this in together? Or?
Yeah, I'm just going to put all this in together and then simmer it for another 20 minutes, and then it'll be ready.
What if you were on death row, Sharon, and you had a final meal, 3-course meal? What's your choice?
My choice? Well, it's a bit of a joke, really. I love ribeye steaks. We don't have them very often, but when we do, if we buy them from the butchers, they're very expensive, so we usually share it between us. But I would have to have James Martin to come and cook my steak for me, wouldn't I? You know, but he's my favourite chef, I think, of all time. I just like he's very natural. He's very practical the way he doesn't do complicated things. Well, I don't think he does complicated things, but I enjoy cooking. For some people, they might find it complicated, but I don't, and I like the way he cooks. And he uses butter and double cream in his cooking. And I use butter and double cream in my cooking.
So he's cooking you a ribeye steak? Yeah,
ribeye steak with dauphinoise potatoes, carrots and broccoli. They're more or less my favourite. That's my. But if I'm not really a puddings person, but.
You're not a puddings person when you do.
Not really, but I do cakes and puddings and things. But sticky toffee puddings are are really the best things that I cook. Sticky toffee puddings, I must admit.
Are you going to show us how to do that?
We go out for a meal, and if James has sticky toffee pudding, and it's okay, it's all right, and they'll say, "How was that, sir?" And he'll go, "Not as good as my wife's." So yeah, and he always says that. So. Right, so...
Is that because he knows the punishment otherwise? No more sticky toffee pudding?
No, he says that he's quite honest in that he says that it's not the same as mine, and he likes mine. So. Right, so that has reduced considerably already. In fact, I'm going to turn it right down because it's going to catch. If not. So there's hardly any liquid in that now. And
if you reduce it too much, do you add a bit more water? Or?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't add water. If you reduce it too much and there's not enough liquid, I would put perhaps a bit of, if you've got it, I don't have this in unless I buy it specifically, coconut milk, which is very nice for curries. Just a little bit of normal double milk, full milk. I would put that in, and but you don't want it too liquidy, do you? It's. I
suppose it'll give it that creamier texture, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if you put a bit of milk in or coconut milk, it does give that creamier texture to it. So
just a couple of handfuls of raisins.
Yeah, a couple of handfuls of raisins. Depending on if you want to see your raisins, you put quite a few in. The raisins are nice in it because once you put them into the curry and they take the fluid in, they swell up, so and they soften up all, and it's just so yummy. Is yummy a proper word?
It is when it's you cooking, Sharon.
Yeah. So can you see all that fluid is now more or less gone off that curry, and so we just want the apples and the raisins and the peppers just to soften up. So while waiting for that to happen, I'm just going to get other things ready. So when you're doing a curry, you can't have curry without rice, can you? So we have basmati rice.
As we made earlier.
Yeah, made this earlier. Okay, so the best way, I like things to look nice when I put it on the table. I don't throw, well, I do throw things on the plate a little bit, but it's like, make it nice. Put your rice in the circle.
You have been tempted to do combine with me or anything like that, Sharon?
No. The one thing I don't like about Come Dine With Me is that they don't respect your hospitality. The other people, they root it in they go in and they criticise your decor or whatever, and I don't like that. So you should just enjoy people's company when you go for a meal somewhere. So there's naan breads, which you can do to go with your curry. So there's naan bread. Picked these up in Booths yesterday, of all places. I don't usually buy much from Booths, but these were £1 a pack for the ready-made ones. So for £1 a pack.
Do you make your own poppadoms?
I do. I make my own. I buy the box that you fry up, and they come up really, really big, and they're fabulous. But they're really too much, and they're very fat. So we tend to have the ready-made, and also when you're coming in from work, you don't have time to start getting the deep fat fryer out or the pan out and putting the oil in and frying them up. So these are just right. It's just an easy and quick tea. So I'm just going to put that little bit out and just to show you what it looks like. All right.
When you do your naans, would you put a little bit of water, sprinkle a little water?
Yeah, put the water on your naans and put them under the grill or in the oven. I don't know which one it is now. I usually warm my poppadoms through in the oven just for about 5 minutes. So there you go. There is one chicken curry. But the more you simmer it, the nicer it is. So I've done it quite quick tonight, but definitely half an hour to 40 minutes totally simmering, and then you've got your curry. Okay, and that's it. That's me. All right, hope you enjoy. And give me a call if you want anything. I will let you know.
Just give us a little taster of what's happening next week. Or do you know? It's okay if you don't know.
I haven't decided next week yet. We're going to decide on how well this went. But I have got an idea in mind for about 2 months in advance. People have always asking me about icing cakes. So I might show you how to ice a Christmas cake. I'll show you how to marzipan a cake. I will show you how to ice the board and that sort of thing. So that's in the future before Christmas. I'll do that late November. I'll do that. I haven't really decided on what to make yet next week, but I have got two recipes in mind that we like a lot. A chicken and vegetable pie, which that is very much convenience food, in that it's a packet of puff pastry, a tin of mixed veg, a cooked chicken, and then of course you've got to serve it with chips. And the other thing is, I'd like to show you how to make goulash. And that is so easy and so tasty. But see you next week.
Thank you so much.